Hi, welcome back to Connect to Care. I'm Tiffany Lloyd, Education Coordinator, and we are here to bring you helpful tips for interpreters about mental health and interpreting and beyond. We also are excited about our workshop on May 16th about being a team player, and we already have BEICEs approved. Today, we are picking up with assessment tips, and we are going to dive back into what it's like taking our assessments from the BEI to the NIC to the CASLI. All of it can be super overwhelming. This week, we are really excited to dive into our topic today, which is just keep swimming and the Dory method. When you're interpreting something that's really unfamiliar, maybe something that's really dense or confusing, it can really throw you off. It can make you feel overwhelmed. It can make you really mess up on things that you typically do very well. And a testing environment is perfect for that kind of anxiety. So when interpreting something that's really dense or kind of difficult, or maybe a new topic that you're unfamiliar with, it's important to take a step back and really get into your zone. We talked about before that we typically, when we're stressed or overwhelmed, we rely on the amygdala back here, which is the part of your brain that just controls all of your basic functions. The amygdala is also called the threat analysis center. So when you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, it recognizes that as a threat, and it sends those feelings throughout your body. So that's why you feel that emotional reaction during a test. Everyone reacts differently. Some fight, some flight, some freeze, and some fawn. When you're interpreting during your exam, you're going to be stressed. And it's not really feasible for you to bolt from the room, right? So you can't escape. You can't flight during your test. When you're taking your test, it's not really feasible for you to fight your test administrator. I don't think that's going to make you pass. So it's important to take a step back and center yourself. So the only other option for our brain to do is to freeze. And in those moments, we have to push through. We have to just keep swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming. When you're thrown a concept that's really challenging, it's important to look at that concept as a whole, to break down each of those pieces and approach it with an open mind. Sometimes when you're interpreting and you're using your second language or your L2, and it gets a little bit overwhelming because you're thrown a concept that you don't really know or you're not really familiar with, it can be easy to switch back into that L1. So maybe your interpreting starts out with beautiful ASL concepts, and then something's thrown at you, and it's okay to shift a little bit into your L1 and interpret in more of an English word order until you can get back on track, and then it's okay to switch back into that ASL and those beautiful ASL concepts. So let's talk about the concept of insurance. That comes up quite a bit in interpreting. And just to be clear, I'm not going to give you any inside test information. This is just an example for you to think about. When it comes to insurances, the idea of deductibles is very popular, right? There is no sign equivalent for deductible. Many people will sign it a certain way, right? We see this a lot. And that may be acceptable for some clients, while it might not be a good fit for others. When you're thinking about testing and you want to throw that sign concept out of deductible, your brain might be firing at you. That might not be a good fit for every single client. Don't use that sign. It's important to listen to your brain. It's important to recognize that that's not a good fit. But you have to push through that feeling and put something out there. You can't just freeze. It's important to keep your hands in the air and to keep going. I like to think about this in terms of Newton's first law. Things that are in motion want to stay in motion. Things that aren't don't want to stay in motion. So if you freeze up, your body's going to want to stay frozen. It's not going to want to move. If you keep signing, it's going to be a lot easier for you to pick up on those things that you stumbled off on and move forward. This is something that's really important, especially when you're voicing. Often when we're voicing, we can become very overwhelmed by the source material. Testing environments are not like normal interpreting. Testing environments are set up to test your ability to navigate concepts that you are unfamiliar with. When you're feeling overwhelmed when voicing, it's important to just keep talking. And I know that sounds silly, and I know it sounds weird, but sometimes just voicing the glossed ASL that you're seeing will help your brain to continue processing. And if you continue processing, you will start to pick up and you will keep going. You will be able to find the concept that fits the intent of the consumer. So just say in your head, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Keep talking, keep signing, don't give up. One of the other tips that I do when I'm taking an exam is I like to show the test administrators and the people who are grading that I know how to ask for clarification. I can't tell you if this is going to get you extra points, but it does show them that you're able to adapt when you're in a situation that is overwhelming or stressful. So I often will sign to the camera, "Can you say that again, please?" Or repeat, or "Do you mind finger spelling that one more time?" This is something good to practice and to bring into your interpretations in general. The more that we have these tools available in our tool belt, the easier our brain is going to be able to process and predict things in unpredictable situations. Now we want to learn from you. When have you experienced a really difficult concept that you couldn't figure out how to navigate? What kind of tools did you use in that situation? What has been helpful for you when you've taken tests and you've been thrown a concept that was really confusing? This is Connect to Care. We are so excited to have you here, and we look forward to having you back here next week, where we're going to continue this series. Check out our social media, The Gracious Mind, and our website, thegraciousmind.com.